Hello, I live on a boat and it's lovely, but it has a wood burning stove, wood and coal. And the trouble with that is dust. There's an immense amount of dust all over the place, great big billowing clouds of the stuff, and little dust balls like a sort of desert scene, or when a joke falls flat and the tumbleweed rolls. Lots of dust flying about the boat. And although I have a full-size plug it into the mains super sucking vacuum cleaner, it's a terrific pain actually to use because it's corded and the cord gets everywhere and the thing is big and heavy. And I thought what I need is one of those little rechargeable portable vacuum cleaners. Now if you buy the big brand versions of these that have the equivalent suck of your big mains unit, they're a couple of £100, which is just absurd. So I thought I would take a risk on one of these little cheapy handheld ones sold as car vacuums or nooks and cranny vacuums. And this one from Audew retails on Amazon at about £28. I got it in one of their flash sales for £18.63 or something. I thought at that price I can take a chance on it and see if it does any suction at all. I'll give you the quick version of the review. I quite like it, but you really do have to set your expectations of what an 18 or 25, 27 pound vacuum cleaner is going to do. It really has, all things considered, a fairly feeble suck, but nonetheless it does what I wanted it for, which is to suck up the loose dust that is floating around the boat. It will not suck up granules. It does dust, little specks of dust, but not gritty granular stuff, and certainly nothing large. But for what I need, which is to just run it round and get rid of some of that, as I say, floating dust, it does really quite well. So for £20, I don't think I can really complain. I'll show you the device. There it is, fairly standard. You've got the hole in which the dust is sucked. You've got a little on-off switch here, which is actually remarkably stiff. It takes 2 fingers to turn that on and off. You push this button here to detach the front. There's this actual sucky bit. That's the motor. And it just sucks everything up there through this filter. And the dust doesn't collect in a bag or anything. It kind of goes in through the hole. It's like one of those fish traps where the fish swim in and can't get out again. The dust goes in here and then it just drops down below the hole where it came in, and then it can't find its way out again. And because this is still sucking it obviously doesn't want to. You have to be careful when you turn the thing off and then go to empty it that loads of dust doesn't fall back out again. So turn it off upright and then the dust will stay in there. And then this filter is removable. You just literally pull it out. Obviously, you can then empty out the dust. There's a little bit in there, so I'm not going to tip it. So you can just empty that out. And the filter does get surprisingly clogged with dirt. So anytime you're running this thing around and thinking, oh, it really has got a feeble suck and it's not picking much up, then you look at this thing. It's absolutely chocker in dirt. So it may not be picking up big stuff, but by heck, it is certainly picking up fluff, because this gets absolutely loaded with it, and you can scrape great handfuls off at the end of a vacuuming session, which is why I say I quite like it, because even though it doesn't do the big stuff, if you're going to traipse lots of stones and gravel, or you want to clean out your car which is full of stones, this just won't do a particularly good job. It will get rid of loose dust. Again, things like trapped hairs in a carpet, it hasn't got the suction to pull them out. But anything that's lying on the surface and is lightweight, it can suck up. And as I say, this does get remarkably jammed up. So it's definitely doing something, even if it doesn't always seem to be that apparent. It takes, I think, about an hour to charge, and the battery lasts, I've not timed it, but a reasonable amount. I mean, I just put it on charge, use it here and there every now and again, and then it'll want charging again. It's not a problem. It's not like it runs out after 2 seconds. But then living on the boat, there's not an awful lot of vacuuming to do. It doesn't take 2 seconds to do the whole boat. But again, it's not designed for big vacuuming sessions. It's for running around, getting rid of some muck by the stove. Comes with a few accessories. Oh, there's the charger, which is the lightweight, most flimsy thing I've ever picked up, but it charges it. There's a fairly useless thing that compresses the size of the suction down to a slightly narrower gap. Doesn't seem to make an awful lot of difference, but it means you can sort of poke it into holes where the front of that wouldn't really go, and you just push it in, And in theory, that would give you a slightly better suck. But honestly, it doesn't really seem to make a lot of difference. But you can then poke that into nooks and crannies. It's got this extendable thing, again, for poking it into holes. This is really, I mean, I paid £18. I'm not surprised this is so flexible and cheap feeling. And then there's another thing here. Actually, what the heck does that do? Ooh, more little attachments which you can stuff on that. I've never used those. No use for those whatsoever, but they come with it. And then it has got this little brush thing as well, where I think actually you're more likely to just catch the dirt in the bristles rather than it actually sucking anything up. So again, that's not one I've bothered using. Essentially, just use it like that occasionally, but mostly just like that. And as I said, it's not a powerful vacuum, but if you set your expectations accordingly and just want something that can suck up loose dust, and say you've been, as I sometimes do, been sawing some wood and there's some sawdust, it'll suck up the sawdust. It's just loose stuff sitting there. It'll suck up dust, but anything bigger, it hasn't got the suck. But I am nonetheless, for the £18 I paid for it, pretty pleased, because I can run it around and instantly everywhere looks a bit better than it did before. So that's handy if anyone's coming over. Hope that was useful. If you'd like to buy one, I will leave a link in the description below. It's an affiliate link thing, so if you buy one, I get a tiny bit of commission from Amazon at no extra cost to yourself, and that's always appreciated. So, thanks for watching. Cheerio.